Dargaville hospital patients asked to sign consent forms on having no on-site doctor. So patients been asked, could you just sign this that you're okay with no doctor on site? Some headlines from the story. Dargaville hospitals asked patients to consent in writing to having no doctor on site overnight. Health New Zealand says it's safe for non-acute patients, which of course raises the obvious question, what about the acute ones? Former clinical manager says risks are being ignored. Local doctor blames Health New Zealand for crisis staffing situation. Also, as we said earlier, got some advice today that this is actually not legal. You're not allowed to sign away your rights when it comes to healthcare. It's like, even if you sign a document, it doesn't absolve the other party. It's you can't be let off. The hospital can't be let off, or the health system, so to speak. But Gary, have at it.
So I guess first I want to say that the people that are having to make these sorts of decisions, even in management roles, are placed in a very difficult bind. Um, I don't believe that anyone in the health system anywhere, not just in Northland, anywhere, is doing this to intentionally hurt anyone. They are like many of us in the public system, they're trying to do the best under the constraints that they've been given, the hand that they've been dealt. And so if good people are trying to do this, like the doctor in the article mentions that this is an attempt to provide informed consent to people, to just keep them in the loop, to tell them what's going on when they might have had expectations that you're coming to a hospital, you expect it to have a doctor if something goes wrong. Like, this concept of doctorless hospitals is new for a lot of people. A lot of us might argue that you aren't really a real hospital if you're doctorless. But the place that the mid-level staff are coming from, I think, is a good one. But from the top, um, they're being made to work under really tough constraints. And you can see in that earlier article that I was quoting from, um, essentially, well, let's stick with this one. The former clinical director for Northland's Rural Hospitals, Dr. Pragati Gautama, who resigned last year in frustration, said the consent form put patients and staff in a difficult position. Is it informed consent? She said, because the person arriving is unwell and now has to sign a pro forma on where to stay, and I question if they really know how unwell they are. Um, so I just attended a medical course a couple days ago where we talked about informed consent, and it was interesting because they felt you couldn't do informed consent with a patient um, in the ante room of a surgical theater or
Yeah.
in the endoscopy suite. Once you get them there, it's a little bit late. They're constrained and a bit limited in their options. Informed consent should be given freely, right? And this raises concerns about whether you can actually do that when you're saying, yeah, I'm okay with a nurse helping me and telehealth on a video screen helping me. There's a lot that goes into that decision. And yeah, I feel sorry for everyone involved in this, to be honest. So this doctor was saying, I don't believe it's fair on the nursing staff who are left with no on-site support to manage quite complex patients. Her advice, so this doctor's advice, was rejected, reportedly at the direction of national leadership. I want to emphasize that I don't think anyone's blaming local mid-level management or even upper management for these issues. This is it's a decision. It all comes down to money at the end of the day. This is a funding decision, and the money, as I said a few minutes ago, has gone elsewhere. So her advice was rejected, reportedly at the direction of national leadership. Quote, they basically said, no, we can't do that. It's going to look bad if we close the hospital down. Yeah, the article's a really good one, and people should read it. to quote her further, I think we're playing with people's lives basically just because they happen to be Maori or Pacifica or poor, or I would add, or rural. We're putting them at the bottom of the list.